My dear radiant soul, there comes a time, a trembling time, when you must rise from the ashes of your doubt, when you must stand in the center of your own truth, and declare to the heavens, I am more than what they said about me. I am not the names they called me, nor the cages they built for me. You see, life is not just about breathing, it is about becoming something deeper than your wounds and brighter than your scars. But you cannot become anything new with an old mind. You cannot fly with wings that are shackled by shame. You cannot rise when your thoughts keep digging graves. You must change your mentality about yourself. Some people walk this earth with their heads held high, but their hearts bowed low. You can see it in their eyes, the quiet flicker of lost dreams. You can hear it in their voices, soft with self-doubt, heavy with memories they never asked to carry. They dress well, they smile politely. But inside, oh child, inside they are battling a voice that was planted in them long ago. A voice that said, you are not enough. And the tragedy is not that someone said it, the tragedy is that they believed it. Yes, my dear, the mind is a mighty garden, and if you do not tend it, weeds of fear, insecurity, and shame will grow wild and thick, choking the very roots of your soul. The mind is not just where you think, it is where you become. You must understand this. Every action you take, every word you speak, every dream you dare to chase or refuse to pursue, it all begins with what you believe about yourself. You are not just a body moving through the world. You are a spirit walking in the shape of thought. You rise or you fall according to the truth or the lie you choose to feed. If you wake up each morning and say to yourself, I'm too broken, I'm too late, I'm too weak, then darling, you will walk in chains even with no prison walls around you. The chains are not metal, they are mental, and the cruelest prisons are the ones we build in our minds. You were not born to think small. You were not sent here to be a shadow in your own story. No, you were crafted by the same hands that hung the stars. And the stars do not apologize for shining. But somewhere along the way, life happened. Somebody wounded you with words that left bruises no one could see. Somebody laughed at your dream and you tucked it away deep in the closet of your heart, covered in dust and silence. Somebody told you that your voice was too much, too loud, too different, too wild. And so you began to believe that being less was the only way to be loved. Oh, how wrong they were. You see, your mindset is a mirror. Whatever you believe about yourself will reflect back into your life. If you see yourself as weak, you will shrink in the face of opportunity. If you see yourself as unworthy, you will sabotage blessings before they reach your hands. If you see yourself as invisible, you will become unseen, even in a room full of people. But if you dare, just dare, to believe that you are worthy of joy, worthy of love, worthy of rising, then everything changes. You begin to walk taller, not in arrogance, but in the sacred knowing of your own value. You begin to speak not to impress, but to bless. You begin to carry yourself not like someone who is trying to be accepted, but like someone who knows they were chosen. Let me tell you something tender and true. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are not the sum of what happened to you. You are not the voice that said, you can't. You are the whisper of God that said, you can. You are not the lies that shame screamed in the middle of the night. You are the song that hope hums at dawn. If your mind is filled with darkness, you cannot expect to live in the light. You must cleanse your thoughts like a sacred temple. Sweep out the cobwebs of old fears. Tear down the curtains of comparison. Wash the floors with words of love. Open the windows to new beginnings. And light a candle. Yes, light a candle. And say, from this day forward, I will think of myself as a miracle becoming. Some folks believe that success starts with talent. But no, child. Success begins in the mind. Before you can build a dream, you must build the belief that you deserve it. Before you can walk through an open door, you must believe that you are worthy to enter. And before anyone else can love you, you must stand before the mirror, smile, and say, I love me. That kind of mindset is not arrogance, it is alignment. When your mind aligns with the truth of your divine worth, no lie can stick to you, no insult can stain you, no failure can finish you. You rise not because you have all the answers, but because you finally know who you are. This world will try to name you broke, ugly, unlovable, too dark, too different, too damaged. But child, those names are not your truth. The only name you need to answer to is the one God gave you, beloved. Walk in it. Think in it. Live in it. Do not let the enemy of your soul rent space in your mind. Evict every lie. Cancel every false label. Repossess your mind. Renew it daily. Think thoughts that heal. Think thoughts that grow. Think thoughts that break chains and open doors and build bridges for others to walk across. Because when your mindset changes, your life changes. Your circle changes. Your prayers change. Your energy changes. And honey, your future starts glowing. You are not what the world said you were. You are what God knows you are becoming. So walk on, beloved, with your head high, with your mind free, and with your heart full of the quiet, unshakable truth. I am enough, I am able, I am becoming, and that is more than enough. There will come a moment in your life, if it hasn't already knocked on your door, when you must make a decision. Not a decision of what to wear, or where to go, or who to love, but a deeper decision, a spiritual reckoning. You must decide if you will continue living under the shadow of other people's opinions, or if you will finally step into the sunlight of your own truth. Because, child, let me say it plain, you are not what they said about you. They may have called you lazy. They may have told you that you would never amount to anything. They may have laughed at your dreams, rolled their eyes at your voice, and tried to dim your light until you began to flicker and question your own fire. But listen to me now. They were wrong. You are not the names they hurled at you in anger or jealousy. You are not the bitterness that spilled out of their mouths when they couldn't understand your spirit. You are not the projection of their pain. You are not the garbage they dumped on your soul when they didn't know how to handle their own brokenness. You are a child of the divine, clothed in grace and crowned in resilience. You are a story unfolding. And baby, one chapter does not define the book. People will always try to label you, to put you in a box small enough for them to understand. Because if they can define you, they can control how they treat you. If they can diminish you, they can excuse their disrespect. But I urge you, never confuse someone's opinion with your identity. What they said about you, that you were too loud, too emotional, too slow, too much, that wasn't about you. That was about their own limitations, their own fear of your power. People will call you too much only when they are not enough to hold what you carry. And I know, some of those words came from people you loved. Some came from mama's tired voice, from daddy's silence, from teachers who didn't see the light in your eyes, from friends who turned to enemies with envy in their hearts. Those words cut deep, and they still echo. Don't they? Echo in the quiet moments. Echo when you're alone with your thoughts. But darling, an echo is not the truth. It's just noise from the past trying to live in the present. You've carried those voices too long. You've rehearsed their doubts in your head like a broken song. You've built your identity on their insecurities. And now it's time to tear it all down. To strip away the lies, one by one, like old wallpaper in a sacred home. Because your soul deserves a new interior. You must learn to bless yourself, to look into the mirror and say, I am not what they called me. I am not the pain they caused me. I am not the sorrow I swallowed just to keep the peace. I am something deeper. I am something holy. Yes, holy. You are not just flesh and bone. You are spirit and purpose. You are possibility wrapped in potential. You are grace that survived the storm. And though they tried to bury you under the weight of their judgment, they forgot you were a seed. And seeds don't die in the dark. Seeds grow in the dark. So rise, my dear, not with vengeance, not with spite, but with quiet dignity. With the power of a soul that knows its worth, stand up not to argue with them, but to agree with yourself. To say, I know who I am. And that is more than enough. Their words may have wounded you, but you do not have to carry the wound forever. Let healing be your rebellion. Let joy be your response. Let peace be your proof that they did not win. You are not unlovable. You are not too far gone. You are not cursed nor broken beyond repair. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are not a burden. You are not a mistake. You are loved. You are needed. You are a voice this world has been waiting to hear. You are brilliance yet untapped. Potential still blooming. You are evidence of grace in motion. You are poetry dressed in human skin. And I don't care if no one ever told you this before. Hear me now. You are enough. You have always been enough. Even when they said you weren't fit. Even when you didn't feel it. Even when you tried to shrink to fit the mold they made for you. The truth is the mold was too small. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to break it. So don't you dare reduce yourself to their vision of you. Don't you dare play small to make others comfortable. Don't you dare keep silent when your truth wants to roar. There is no freedom in pretending. There is no peace in people pleasing. You were not born to earn their approval. You were born to be free. And that freedom begins when you say, with your whole heart and all your soul, I am not what they said about me. I am what I choose to believe. And I believe I am worthy. I believe I am beautiful. I believe I am enough. Now walk in that truth.
Walk like you've been chosen.
Walk like the ground is grateful to feel your feet. Walk like heaven put its hands on your shoulders and whispered, go on, child, live. Because what they said about you, it was never the final word. You are still becoming. And becoming, my love, is the most beautiful thing you'll ever do. There is a conversation happening inside you every day. Long before the sun has kissed the earth good morning, long before another soul lays eyes upon you, you are already in dialogue, not with the world, but with yourself. And oh, what you say in that quiet space matters. It matters more than the weather, more than the headlines, more than the applause or the silence outside your door. Because the words you speak to yourself, they root deep, they take hold. They bloom or they break. They either build you up or they tear you down. So I ask you, gently as a mother would, what are you saying to yourself when no one is listening? Are you loving? Are you kind? Are you honest but tender? Or are you harsh? Do you call yourself names you wouldn't dare speak to another? Do you punish yourself for being human, for needing time, for not knowing everything at once? You see, it is a dangerous thing when your own voice becomes your worst enemy. The world may try to bruise you, but if you become the one doing the beating, baby, who will protect you then? There must be a sanctuary within you. A place you can return to when the world feels cold and the nights stretch too long. That sanctuary is made with words, your words. Words that soothe. Words that restore. Words that say you're doing the best you can, and that is something to be proud of. But I have known too many people who are imprisoned not by walls but by their own mouths. They speak curses over themselves and wonder why blessings cannot stay. They say, I'm so stupid, I'm always messing up. Nobody loves me, and then they wonder why joy does not sit at their table. But child, you must understand your words are seeds. What you plant, you will grow. So plant hope, plant dignity, plant mercy. Speak life over your weary soul. Speak healing over your aching heart. Tell yourself the truth, yes, but let it be the whole truth. And the whole truth is, you have made mistakes, but you are not a mistake. You stumbled, but you are not a failure. You've been through storms, but you are not damaged goods. You are still here, still standing, still becoming. That is truth. And truth, when wrapped in love, is a powerful thing. Don't you dare speak to yourself in the language of your oppressors. Don't you dare take the baton from those who hurt you and continue their work with your own voice. You were not created to be your own executioner. You were created to be your own encourager. Yes, life will bring hard days. There will be moments when you forget your worth, when your mirror reflects fatigue instead of fire. But those are the moments when your words matter most. That is when you must say to yourself, I may not feel strong today, but I am still worthy of kindness. I may not have it all figured out, but I deserve patience. I am doing the sacred work of living, and that is enough for now. You must become your own balm, your own soft landing place, your own warm light in the dark. And I know it may feel strange at first. If you have spent years silencing your spirit or scolding your reflection, it will feel foreign to speak words of tenderness, but keep going. Keep trying, because the soil of your soul remembers what it feels like to be watered. Say it until you believe it. I am not too much. I am not too little. I am just right for the journey I have been given. Say it again.
I am worthy of love, including my own.
And again. I am not here to be perfect. I am here to be present. Speak these things not as performance, but as a promise, a daily covenant between your mouth and your heart. You must also learn to forgive yourself and speak forgiveness out loud. Say, I was learning. I didn't know better then, but I know better now, and I will walk in that knowing with grace. You are not obligated to carry the weight of every wrong. Set it down. Speak release. Your voice, when used in love, can become medicine. It can break chains you didn't know was still binding you. It can open windows in rooms you thought would remain closed. It can reach down into the wounded child within you and say, you didn't deserve that, but you still deserve healing. You are not here to perform pain. You are here to rise in peace. And that rise starts with how you speak to yourself. Let your words become prayer. Let your affirmations be offerings. Look into your own eyes and say, I forgive you. Whisper, I believe in you. Declare, I am proud of you, even if no one else does. Even if no one ever did. You speak it. You sow it. You become it. And let me tell you, there is no force more powerful than a soul that has learned to love itself out loud. You don't need anyone's permission to begin. You don't need a certificate, a crowd, or a fresh start. You can begin right here in the middle of your mess, in the silence of this very moment. Close your eyes. Breathe deep. And speak. Speak with the voice of someone who has survived. Speak like your soul depends on it, because it does. Speak like you matter, because you do. Speak like love is your birthright, because it is. Speak like you are becoming your own best friend. Because one day when the storms return, and they always do, it will be your own voice that steadies you. Not a crowd, not applause, not accolades, just you. And the words you planted in your heart when no one was watching. So speak, child. Speak in love. Speak in truth. Speak like you said, finally come home to yourself. There is something sacred resting deep within you, something eternal and mighty, a calling, a dream, a divine assignment stitched into the very fabric of your soul. And oh yes, child, I tell you now, your destiny is real. It is not a fantasy, not a mirage, not some far-off wish only fit for others and not for you. No, your destiny is standing tall, arms open, waiting for you to come forward. But you cannot step into it with an old mind. You cannot enter a palace with the posture of a prisoner. You cannot carry the chains of yesterday and expect to dance freely in tomorrow. The mind must be changed, renewed, reimagined, because what got you here will not carry you there. Your destiny, darling, requires a different level of thinking, a higher level of vision, a more courageous kind of belief. And that means you must let go of the mindset that kept you surviving and embrace the mindset that will let you thrive. Too many beautiful souls have been born with wings but live as if they're bound to crawl. They walk the earth with brilliance in their bones, but think with borrowed beliefs. Beliefs passed down from broken voices and fearful hearts. Beliefs like I can't. I'm not ready. People like me don't make it that far. Lies. All of them. The greatest tragedy is not that people doubt you, it's that you've started to doubt yourself. Oh, how the enemy of your soul rejoices when you silence your own potential, when you water down your gifts, when you sit in the back row of your own life, when you say, maybe one day, while the days slip past like water through open hands. But hear me, and hear me well, you were not born to barely get by. You were not created for struggle without substance, for toil without transformation. There is more for you, more joy, more growth, more light, more freedom. But to have it, you must make space for it. And that space begins in your mind. You must begin to think as someone who is worthy of what is coming. You must wake up each day and declare, I belong in rooms of purpose. I belong in places of peace. I belong in the land of promise. And not because you are perfect. No, perfection was never the point, but because you are called. And when the Creator calls someone, no force on earth can revoke that call. Not your past, not your failures, not even your own hesitation. But child, hesitation will cost you if you let it linger too long. Every time you tell yourself, I'm not ready, you are pushing your destiny a step further down the road. But when will you be ready? When all the stars align? When all your fears vanish? When everyone finally believes in you? Let me tell you a gentle truth, that day may never come. You don't wait until you're fearless to take the first step. You take the first step and trust that courage will meet you on the journey. And that, my love, requires a renewed mind. It means thinking in alignment with your future, not your failures. It means letting go of the old story you've been telling yourself. The one where you're the underdog, the forgotten, the one who almost made it. It means rewriting the narrative so that you become the hero of your own tale. Not in arrogance, but in sacred acknowledgement of who you truly are. There is a holy rhythm to life, and destiny doesn't wait forever. It knocks, it whispers, it opens a door, but you have to walk through it, and you cannot walk through if your mind is still trapped in fear. You must unlearn what no longer serves you. Unlearn the idea that success belongs to others. Unlearn the belief that joy is for someone else's story. Unlearn the idea that struggle is your permanent address. Say to yourself, I am not a victim of my past. I am a vessel of my purpose. Because, child, you are more than what you've been through. You are not defined by your pain. You are refined by it. You are not shaped by your wounds. You are strengthened through them. And don't you know, your destiny is not delayed. It's waiting for you to catch up to it in your thinking. So what do you believe? Do you believe you are strong enough to carry the calling? Do you believe you have something valuable to say? Something worth building? Something worth becoming? You must believe it. Not just on Sunday mornings, not just in the moments of inspiration, but in the quiet, dark hours when no one else sees you. That sips when the mind tries to retreat, tries to fold back into its familiar prison, and that sips when you must rise up and say no more. No more shrinking. No more doubting. No more rehearsing the worst. No more waiting to be chosen. You are already chosen. You are already equipped. You are already called. But your mind must agree. That's why you must fill your thoughts with truth, feed your spirit daily with words that lift, with scriptures that root you, with affirmations that break the chains. Surround yourself with voices that speak life, that water your seeds, that echo your greatness back to you until you can echo it for yourself. Because every step toward destiny begins with a single thought, I can. You must hold on to that thought like a lifeline. Wrap it around your heart like armor. Say it when you're tired. Say it when you feel overlooked. Say it when your hands tremble and your knees weaken and the road feels too long. I can. I will. I am becoming. You may not be there yet, but your mind can arrive before your feet do. And when your mind arrives, your life will follow. Doors will open. Relationships will shift. Opportunities will find you. Not because the world changed, but because you did. A renewed mind is a dangerous thing. It makes the impossible possible. It turns fear into fuel. It turns pain into purpose. It turns a dreamer into a doer. So stand tall and let your thinking match the magnitude of your destiny. Refuse to settle for crumbs when you were made to sit at the feast. You are not an accident. You are an answer. You are not background noise. You are the voice. You are not waiting for permission. You are walking in power. Let that power begin with a thought. Let that thought become a belief. Let that belief transform your life. Because your destiny isn't just calling, it's calling you. Let me speak plainly with the rhythm of truth humming in my chest. Loving yourself is not weakness. It is not vanity. It is not arrogance dressed up in sweet perfume. No, child. Loving yourself is an act of revolution. It is a holy defiance against every lie you've ever been told. It is a sacred ceremony, and you, yes, you are the honored guest. You see, we live in a world that profits off your insecurity. They will sell you creams, clothes, and cages. They will tell you that you must earn worthiness through sacrifice, silence, or servitude. They will whisper that if you're smaller, quieter, lighter, sweeter, maybe then you'll be worthy of love. But you, dear soul, were born worthy. Before you spoke a word, before you pleased a single person, before you proved anything to anyone, you were already wrapped in divine affection, already covered in the fingerprints of the Most High, already a masterpiece in motion. The greatest tragedy is not that people forget to love others. The greatest tragedy is that so many forget to love themselves. And without self-love, what foundation can truly hold? What relationship can thrive? What vision can be trusted? Too many are out here trying to pour from an empty vessel, trying to build dreams on cracked esteem, trying to give when they've never received, not even from their own hearts. So let me ask you this softly and seriously. When was the last time you looked at yourself, not with judgment, not with a checklist, but with wonder? When was the last time you looked into your own eyes and said, "Thank you, I forgive you, I love you"? You see, love is not just something you give away. Love is something you become, and that becoming starts within. You must befriend the mirror, not because the world demands beauty, but because your soul deserves peace. You must learn to be gentle with the girl or boy inside you who is still healing. You must sit beside your own wounds and say, "I will not abandon you again." Because love, real love, begins at home, and your body is the first home your soul ever knew. To love yourself is to reclaim territory that the enemy tried to occupy. It is to look at your stretch marks, your scars, your softness, and say, all of it is beautiful. All of it is mine. It is to look at your mistakes and say, yes, I did that, and I grew from it, and I still deserve good things. It is to silence the voice in your head that says, you strew not enough, and replace it with the gospel of I am more than enough. Because here's the truth that will set you free. Self-love is not selfish, it is self-honoring. When you love yourself, you teach others how to treat you. When you love yourself, you don't chase crumbs, you sit down at the banquet of your own work. When you love yourself, you stop begging for seats at tables where you were never meant to eat. You start building your own. And hear me now, loving yourself is not always soft. Sometimes it is fire. Sometimes it is saying no when you've been trained to say yes. Sometimes it is walking away when they expect you to stay. Sometimes it is standing in your truth even when your knees are trembling. Self-love will cost you things. Approval, comfort, the illusion of belonging. But what it gives you is priceless, your power. Because the most powerful person in any room is the one who does not need validation to know they are valuable. Loving yourself is an act of power because it breaks the system. It tells the world, I will not be defined by your labels. I will not be bent by your bias. I will not dim my light to soothe your discomfort. It is looking into your own heart and saying, I belong to me. Yes, baby. Say that again. I belong to me, not to my past, not to their opinion, not to fear, not to shame. I belong to the God who made me. And I belong to the soul he placed within me. Now, some folks may not understand this kind of love. They will call it pride. They will say you're full of yourself. But don't sit you shrink. Don't sit you apologize. Because yes, you are full of yourself. Full of dreams, full of resilience, full of light, full of ideas, full of beauty that cannot be measured by numbers or mirrors. Full of power that can't be bought or sold. That's the kind of fool that saves lives. That builds legacies, that heals generations. Don't you ever let them shame you for loving yourself. Loving yourself is how you survive. Loving yourself is how you thrive. It's how you show your children what dignity looks like. It's how you teach your sisters and brothers how to